Ni comezón en la oreja, a lo mejor tengo una infección, no sé. Prefiero una infección de oreja que una infección
de la cola.
Eso.
Okay,
Okay, ya vas a subir. Ya. That was funny. Hola, ¿cómo estamos? ¿Cómo andamos?
Bienvenidos a...
Spanglish Confessions.
Bueno, el tema de hoy es de...
Trabajo.
Pero antes de comenzar en el tema, vamos a empezar con nuestro primer Spanglish Confession. Okay, so Stephanie va a comenzar con su confesión de hoy.
Okay, so my Spanglish confession of the day
Work
for
related.
today, work related. This is our work related confession. So when we work together, I can't even say it. I'm already like, nobody got hurt, thankfully. But and the person involved knows everything. We already talked it through, but this is just my confession because I've only told the person affected, you, and myself.
And now you guys.
And now you guys. But when we were working together, we had a manager, and I think I was sick that day too. Like we were all feeling pretty crappy, and there was like a dollar store. There was a dollar store like walking distance from when we worked exactly, and so she sent. I was gonna go over to get some like cough medicine or some cold medicine, some cold medicine. I didn't even know dollar store had that kind of medicine. But point is, I went and I was like, oh, hopefully they have it because I'm feeling kind of crappy. I only had one pill left from home, and my manager was also feeling crappy. So she's like, oh, pues agárrame unas a mí también, no? And I was like, sure, whatever, like we can share. But I had taken my medicine from that I brought from home, and I was like feeling a little better. So I was like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna take it. So I went over and I bought the medicine. And when we were there, because she was with me,
we went over because we would always go for like little decorations for the office too, which we were going to get decorations, and might as well get the medicine that she had lo que le habían cargado.
Yeah, so when we went over, I even jokingly said to her, I was like, oh my god, like what? I almost bought the PM cold medicine. Like I always got the PM, but I saw it and I was like, oh, imagínate que se la doy o algo. So I went back y yo returned it and grabbed another box. It wasn't even labeled at the front. Like I don't think it said anything. It was just a cold medicine. And I was like, oh, I think this one would be better. We go and pay, bring it back. Manager takes the fucking medicine. I don't take the medicine because I'm like, I'm feeling better because I took my medicine that I brought myself. I was like, I'll just save it in my desk for tomorrow. My manager takes it and she decides to leave the office because she's like, I'm not feeling too good. I'm just going to make a final stop to a client. And then.
Because she was our sales manager, so she was out in the field.
Oh,
so
yeah.
She was making visits, customer visits.
Yeah, she had to like be out of the office. So she's like, I'm going to leave. I'm feeling tired. I'm not feeling good. I'm going to make my final visit and then go home. And we're like, okay, cool. Stay safe, whatever. The next day, she comes and tells us that she didn't even make it to the client, that she had to pull over, park, and take a nap because I gave her the PM pills. Like, I didn't know. Like, it was an honest. So, like, go look at the box. I'm like, what the hell? Like, she's like, yeah, like, I was driving and I started feeling so drowsy and tired. Like, she had to sleep in her car for
2 hours.
2 hours.
She took a 2-hour nap in a random parking lot. Knocked out. Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, what? No. So I go check my desk, and I read everything, like the fine print. It was for the nighttime, and it said it would make her drowsy.
Okay.
And I never told her until years later that
until probably like a good 2 years after.
Yeah, that I actually went back and checked the box and it was PM. But this whole time she thought it was just because she was sick. But she knows. We talked about it and now we laugh about it. Yeah. But
now it's just a silly mistake that anybody could make.
It was bad. It was pretty bad. Because imagine.
Yeah.
Imagine
if she didn't pull over. I mean, that could have caused an accident.
Exactly. Like that would have been. I don't think it would have been on me, but
kind of.
Oh, that is true.
You're the one that purchased it.
Okay. So technically, I ended up putting my manager to sleep.
She took a 2-hour well-deserved nap after some
visits she had done earlier and a long stressful day. But I mean, she knows now, she knows. And it was an honest accident. I don't know why it's not. It's dollar store medicine, okay?
Yeah, it should be labeled, and it was off-brand, so it was kind of hard to see everything on there. It didn't say on the very front. So.
No, it literally said it in the back, and I don't think that's on me. Like, who checks the back? I mean, if you guys do, good for you, but I don't. I just like ñacas.
But more of the story,
read the stuff, or you might end up putting your manager to bed. Yeah. Don't get any ideas. No, don't do it. No. But manager is safe. She made it home eventually.
She's still alive. She's still well. we're still in
We still
contact with
talk
her.
to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still talk to her. But that was a day I was like, and I didn't tell her that I knew what had happened. She just thought it was a freak day.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Crazy.
Yeah. So now
Well.
you guys know. But well, that's enough about me. Let's hear from Viri. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So my Spanglish confession was actually where we started working, and so where we started working, and basically it was a staffing agency. So we started working at a staffing
That's where we
agency.
met.
That's where we met,
Mhm.
and we were recruiters. So basically what we had to do, right, within like the first week, they were just training me on to making phone calls, and basically to see if people wanted to work, and basically to our current employees, right, to our current employees that already were signed up with us, and we were just making cold calls to see who could come into work. And her and our manager, well, acting manager at that time, was like, "Oh, just make calls," and we were going off this big list, in our computer and stuff. So there I am. I was listening to their spiel and what they would say. So I was like, easy peasy. No, I was very very nervous, and I was really really shy because I was like, "Oh my goodness, what am I gonna do if they answer? What am I gonna say? What job am I gonna offer them? I don't know how to look up the jobs that we have available." So I found a number. So obviously I started making some calls, and then the first number that I tried went straight to voicemail. I was like, perfect. De aquí soy. Voy a aprovechar y agarrar este número. So all I did was dial the same number over and over and over again. Honestly, made like 10 calls with the same number. And then I would just leave voicemails like, hi, looking for so and so. I would make up a name. If you're looking for a job right now, we have a job that's available. Give me a call back at our number. And I kept doing that for the longest time. I did that honestly for a good 3 days. Three
This
days just.
the whole time I'm thinking, wow, she's really good, guys.
But then I was like, oh my goodness, this is kind of sketchy because, they're going to be like, why is nobody answering her? So then I'm like, okay, I do have to switch it up a bit, like I have to make other calls and stuff. So finally, like somebody actually answered, and I was like, at that time, I didn't know specifically what job we were offering.
Mm.
So I was like, hey, we have this available. Oh no, I'm already on a job. I was like, perfect. Hang up. And it was just quick, easy calls. But that was my English confession. Not as bad as putting somebody to sleep, but I was really shy and nervous, and I took advantage of this number that honestly didn't take me anywhere, and fine by me.
She was training herself.
I was practicing. Technically, I wasn't cheating.
No, you
I
were.
was I was doing some practice.
Yeah.
Maybe that person, honestly, I don't even know how many voicemails I left, but
Hopefully, it was a non-existing number
I
at that
know.
point because they woke up to a lot
Yeah,
of
to a lot of
voicemail
voicemails. But
for 3 days.
for 3 days straight, after that, I was like, okay, no, that's too suspicious. I can't.
And this whole time, I was like, she's a rock star. Like, wow. Like, even not me. Like, I didn't. This girl. When she told me, I was like, no way, dude. Like,
Yeah,
I didn't catch on.
because I was just so shy and so nervous. I'm like, okay, what if they actually answer and I have to offer them a job? I don't know what jobs we have available, but I mean,
I mean, it
it
worked
worked.
out.
It worked for me. I got
She's
practice, and
she was there for 2 years.
I was there for almost 3 years. We were there
Yeah,
for
we were
almost
there for
three
a
years.
while.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a story for another. That's a story for today, actually.
Yeah. So now let's dive into more of our work.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. So those are confessions. Those are some real confessions,
Yeah.
I think. Because, I mean, I feel like we all have. I don't know how many of you guys out there have given your managers medicine, but don't do it.
Don't do it, please. So who wins this Spanglish confession? Stephanie.
I think so.
Stephanie takes the win. Mine wasn't that bad, but
You're just like cute and like, oh, she's shy. No, mine is like, this girl
mine's
could
like,
have.
ay, tamencita, está practicando nomás. Eso fue el mío, pero we don't want to start too strong tampoco.
Yeah,
Well,
no.
I mean, I
I
can't
think
really think of something
I think I
else.
started pretty strong.
You did. We
That's a
need a balance.
yeah, yeah,
So,
that's
ahí
true.
está.
Gonna dive in more into this episode about our first jobs, about how we started our work. Not how we started it necessarily, but how we were treated, how our families reacted, how our friends reacted,
Mhm.
how our bosses treated us, and any weird, funny, haha, funny, weird moments that we
Mhm.
had during those jobs. And then we'll go more into corporate and what we learned in corporate because I think the corporate world is crazy.
It's different.
It's different, and I definitely learned a lot
Yeah, I
there.
feel like it's portrayed as something like, oh, once you're in corporate, you have it easy in a
Hmm.
way, but in reality, no, you still you go through different hoops.
It's more tedious than it seems.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Not to crap on anybody who's in corporate. Just This is our experience. If you want to talk about your experience, submit, okay?
Yeah.
But anyways, I guess I can dive in
Yeah.
first about my work. So to sum it up, I used to work in retail, food service, and I did work at a daycare for a little bit. Um, but I feel like my retail and food service jobs were very similar in the way I was treated by my friends and family. Um, because I feel like when you first get your first job, like everybody's like, oh, like you got a job, and
Mhm.
I did get my first car during that time too, so now I'm driving and I have money. I'm a baller. I'm just saying.
You want some of this?
I was a strong, independent woman by 16. Um, but I feel like when I first started working, like my parents were not having it. Like I feel like to them, it felt like I was like trying to like get away from them a little
Mhm.
bit, and they were still trying to like keep me there. But to be honest, like I was tired of like getting my phone taken away because yo lo pago es mi teléfono, like
Mhm.
you're under my roof, blah blah blah. I was like, okay, so let me buy my own phone and let me pay my own phone.
Mhm.
And then I was tired of asking for money to go out with friends because during that time you're starting to go to the mall, the
Yeah.
movie theaters, and
Movies.
I felt bad because I mean we didn't have a lot of money to begin with, and I would always ask my mom or dad for money to go out, and it was just kind of getting embarrassing. Not that there's anything embarrassing about that, but it just felt
Yeah, you just didn't want to put that extra pressure on them to have extra money for you, you know? Yeah.
exactly. And so I was like, okay, that's a motivator. I wanted to be able to buy my own chones. Like, I mean, I don't want my dad to go with me to the mall to buy my chones. Like, no, dude. Like, stay over there.
Me da vergüenza.
No me da vergüenza. I want some
Sí.
Victoria's Secret. I'm tired of the Fruit of the Looms.
Literally.
Los del paquete.
I want something more fancy.
Sí, sí, los de la Victoria's Secret, the pink ones. Bueno, those were like just motivators.
Yeah.
So when I first got my first job, I feel like in high school, like my friends were more like, "Oh, you got a car, like you could drive us places," which I
Mhm.
didn't mind for like my close friends, but there was people that you were super close with, and I was just like, "Damn, I have to pay for this gas too." Nobody's offering because everybody broke,
Yeah.
and it was just obviously my close friends would offer like, "Oh, I got $10, $5,
Mhm.
whatever se aprecia," pero I'm the one that's I learned to appreciate what work was because
Mhm.
I was getting off late. Like, um,
You were the one
I
working.
was the one
Mhm.
working. Yeah. And when I got my retail job, I learned a little bit more because I got treated differently there because I was in college by then. And yeah, you're working retail. It was at an auto shop store, like it was at Pet Boys. So people were like, "What are you working there?" Like, I feel like people had a different expectation.
Mhm.
Like, they're like, "Shouldn't you working at a restaurant?" Like, those were some comments I got. Like, "You should be working at a restaurant. You make more money." Like, yeah, but I don't like food service. I already went through that.
Mhm.
And like, oh, like, why do you want to work there? Like, you should just be focused and like some of my peers would be like, you should just be going to college. And it's like, I can't afford to just go to college.
Yeah.
Like,
I need money
I
too,
need
you know?
money
Yeah.
too. And my parents were just like, my mom was mostly trying to convince me to just go to college and not work. But I was like, girl, that puts extra financial stress on you. Like, that's
Mhm.
not going to work for me at least. And I was paying off some medical bills and stuff like that. So my parents weren't happy that I was working while in college because I was like, I think I had two jobs. I was still working food service and I was working retail
Mhm.
and going to college full time. So they saw how much pressure and I feel like they were in their way, they were trying to take pressure off.
Yeah.
But in my, yo aferrada que quería
Yeah.
trabajar,
Because you didn't want to put that pressure on them. Yeah.
and I like having my own money
Yeah.
too and my own car. And I was saving up for a car, but thankfully my dad like he helped me and he like helped me buy a newer car than the one I had because I
Mhm.
had like a
Like a little beater.
1990s. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a beater. It was bad. It was a Geo Prism.
It worked.
But hey, it got me places.
Yeah.
We're probably from to be yeah. But yeah, while I was working in food service, like I worked at Little Caesars, and I remember one time this lady was like, um, she's like, "Oh wow, there's a lot of Hispanic kids here. Do you guys only hire Hispanics?" What an odd thing to
Yeah.
say, you lady.
Yeah.
And I mean, you guys can guess what skin color she was, but it was just like, girl, I'm 16. What am I supposed to respond to that? Like, I can't fight you. I'll lose my
Yeah.
job. Like, it's just like I wish I wasn't like such like a little not like a little bitch, but like
Yeah.
I wish
Like
I wasn't like
you could have defended yourself now that you're older. You think
mhm,
about it and it's like, oh, I could have said this.
I could have said this
Yeah.
or you know, and it was just like it
It's just
was
so crazy how
weird.
people just find it so they feel so comfortable with saying some certain things that obviously are racist and come off as racist that
Mhm.
they don't see the wrong in that, you know? Like
Yeah.
para ellos es algo así, oh, nomás es un comentario, you know, which it is. I mean, it's just a comment and stuff, but still, it has some
Yeah.
like meaning into that.
I remember just sitting, like, standing there, like, at the cash register con mi dedo y todo, like, so, like, I was like, "What do you mean? Like, like, I genuinely was like, "What do you
Mhm.
mean?" And I was like, "No, we hire everybody." Yo todavía de mensa. "We
No,
hire everybody." "No,
no, no,
it's
qué
not a Hispanic stuff."
copertina.
Yeah, I was like, "Are you looking for an application?"
Yeah.
Like, I was mouthy back then, but I was not smart about it. Like,
Mhm.
it was just a reaction, you know? I was like, "Are you looking for an application?" But
Toda
toda
mencilla.
mensa. Like,
Yeah.
you know, toda mensa.
Uh-huh.
Just like, it was bad, but that's one of the things that stuck with me. And then the way my bosses too would like, they were both like, it was like a big American guy and like a smaller American lady. Those were the owners. And then whenever they had meetings, because I ended up becoming a manager eventually at the food place at Little
Mhm.
Caesars, and like I remember one time I was talking to the owner, the guy, and he was like, "That's why I like hiring Hispanics because they're hard workers." And I was one of like four managers, and like three of us were Hispanic, and all three of us were like,
I don't know if to be offended or to be,
be
you know,
proud. Like it was
yeah.
one of those very confusing moments because like you want to be proud, but at the same time, it's like,
What?
what do the kids
Yeah.
call it these days? Uh, minuscule racism, or what do they call it?
I don't know.
Microaggression. It was microaggression.
Yeah. Yeah, because you don't know how to react to that because it's like, what a dumb thing to say.
Yeah,
Yeah, like, and see, that's where what I feel like the expectations where it comes to sometimes like the color of your skin because you're, you know, and I'm not just saying Hispanics, like I feel like it's también a diferentes
yeah. Every
razas, you
race.
know,
Yeah.
because it's like I don't know. I feel like you just there's some pressure that comes with different races. You know, being
Hmm.
different races, you have expectations of doing this, doing that.
Stereotypes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it is.
It's
Yeah,
got stereotypes.
and it's like como I feel like under the umbrella of Hispanics or Mexicans, whatever, it's like somos cleaning ladies, ¿verdad?
Hmm.
So we're cleaning ladies. We work in restaurants. We
Hmm.
basically what else? I mean, construction, landscaping,
Hmm.
cositas así de que nomás son cosas de al servicio of other
Yeah.
people.
Hmm.
And I feel like there's much more to us than just a stereotype, of like, oh, this and that. No, there's actually, people that are Hispanics and that are nurses. They're doctors, they're engineers,
Lawyers,
lawyers,
teachers.
teachers, working big girl jobs, and it's like yes, we could work in the field. It's a
Hmm.
big topic too. Is like working in the field, working in
Yeah.
restaurantes, different industries.
Construction,
Uh-huh.
landscaping.
But
Yeah.
it's not only that we offer. We offer so much, and that's where I feel like types come in and it messes you up.
Yeah. And I feel like all these thoughts, you're not thinking about them during the moment that those things are said,
Hmm.
but you feel it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that affects us too because we're like, because we're proud, we're
Hmm.
proud workers, we're proud to be Hispanic, and it feels like something you should be proud of. But at the same time, there's like something in it that's like, what do you mean? You
Yeah.
want to pressure it. Like,
There's pressure to it,
mhm.
but it's like I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't
know
know
how
how to
to
explain
explain
it.
it. If
Yeah.
you guys have a better explanation for what we're talking about,
And if you guys
which,
know what we're talking about, yeah, like
yeah, let us know because it's like, it's just that feeling of like, I want to be proud, but also like, what the hell?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
What the heck, guys?
What the hell?
What the heck?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like one of the major experiences that like still stick with me till this
Hmm.
day. Not because it was said to me once, but it was twice when I was working at the daycare as well. The teacher there, um, like we had a classroom and my job was to like clean. We had to clean during nap time, which was like almost an hour long, maybe half to an hour long. Y I feel like I did a lot more. Like ella me cargaba la mano,
Mm.
and because I would be wiping down chairs and tables and sweeping and mopping and refilling diapers and
Hmm.
all this other stuff, and she would spend most of the time just cleaning the toys. And
Hmm.
sometimes I even had to do that. I don't know where she was. Maybe
Like
she's
haciendo
taking.
semencia nomás.
Hmm.
Because she saw maybe like that you picked up so much work that she's like, ah, bueno, if you want to do it, pues hazlo.
Yeah, or sometimes she'd be like, "Oh, well, I'm going on my break." Like that was her break time as well, and they would send in like a floater, I think is what they
Hmm.
call it. And like I liked that because they would always send us this other Mexican girl and we would get stuff done like fast. So that
Hmm.
when time was up, like I would just be sitting like writing my reports of the
Yeah.
day because it was fast. Pero cuando me mandaban a otra señora, me atrasaba because
Mhm.
she wasn't picking up the slack. Like, ella también me cargaba la mano, and they were both güeritas,
Sí, sí.
as you guys can imagine. So I was like, dang. And one time the teacher, like, I was there and I was telling her, like, oh, can you help me with this? And she's like, yeah, of course. She's like, oh my gosh, you always work so fast. Every time I've had an experience with a Hispanic, like, you guys are such hard workers. You guys work so fast. I love when I get paired with a Hispanic teacher's aide. And I was like, yeah, haha, like,
Yeah, and see, you don't know if
cool.
yeah, like, once again, you don't know
Yeah.
if to take that as, like, oh, thanks, like a compliment or
Hmm.
como ofensivo en una forma, you know?
Yeah, because, when she said that, I was like, oh, yeah, of course, we're the best.
Mhm.
But at the same time, it's like, girl, like, pick up your slack.
Yeah,
Like,
put in the work.
yes, please. And it was just like something that sticks with me.
Yeah.
And I feel like those are very expectations that a lot of like our bosses have when we're working those jobs where it's like service, like you said,
Ujú.
like the
Al
service.
servicio, que tú tienes que poner un
Hmm.
poquito más de trabajo para las otras personas,
Yeah.
to make up for las otras personas.
And it's not fair. It's
No.
not right. But I didn't learn that until when I went into corporate.
Ujú,
I had to learn to defend myself, and I got a backbone
ujú.
finally. Because corporate, quieras o no, they're ruthless.
Yeah.
They are ruthless over there.
I feel like it's portrayed as like, oh, you're in corporate y ya la tienes un poquito más fácil, pero no, en realidad, bueno, pues sí, ¿verdad? Pero en realidad,
See,
de
no.
todos modos, yeah, it comes with a different set of tedious work that goes into it, So, yeah.
Because I feel like even with my family, like when I was working those retail service, food service, they were like, ay, mija, like, vienes bien cansada, le estás echando ganas. Pobre de ti, like, deja
Mhm,
trabajar tantas
mhm.
horas, mira cómo vienes, and stuff. I feel like it was more respected
Yeah.
by my parents because I was like, I would come home sweating,
Mhm.
tired, like, my feet were
Yeah,
tired,
yeah,
like, it's bad. And then when you get corporate, I feel like it changes a little bit.
yeah,
I don't know how it was for you, but for me, it changed
yeah,
a little
yeah,
bit on how,
poquito.
yeah. So when I first got into corporate, I didn't know I was getting into corporate, by the way. I was like, what the heck did I just apply with? I think no, I had just graduated because it was during the pandemic.
Mhm.
So I was just applying to whatever. Y encontré este trabajo, and they were the only ones that called me back. And during the pandemic, it was hard to get a
You're
job.
like, I need a job. I
I
don't
need a
care.
job ASAP. I don't care what it is.
Mhm.
And they called me back and they were like, hey, we would like to interview you. So fui. No sabía lo que era. I thought it was a retail job, to be honest. I thought I
Yeah.
was gonna be selling like
Hard
uh
hats and boots and
hard
everything.
hats and boots and stuff because I seen the outside of the building and I was like, what is this? And that's how I got introduced into
Stuffing.
staffing. Yeah,
Mhm.
staffing and recruiting. I didn't even know that was a thing,
Yeah, me
dude.
neither.
I have heard my friend be like, I work at like from a staffing agency. I was like, girl, I don't know what that is. Good for you.
Yeah.
And then when I got there, I was like, oh, okay, cool. And they told me the job, and I was like, seems easy peasy lemon squeezy. I'm gonna be sitting in front of a computer desk. This is easy. I'm used to working hard, and it's like, okay, girl, that was the most mentally challenged job I've ever had in my life. I was drained
To this day,
to this
PTSD.
day. That's
Yeah.
how we trauma bonded.
Yeah.
It was so mentally draining.
Yeah.
Physically, I was perfect. Mentally, it felt like I ran like 10 miles.
Yeah.
Um, was that somebody's tripa?
Sí, sorry.
But yeah, I feel like that's how you're gonna introduce to corporate. And there, everybody was seemed nice. Everybody seemed nice, except the people we had to deal with.
Mhm.
But that's a story for a different day, which we do have a lot of crazy
But
stories.
we'll save those for later.
Yeah, those are for another episode. Yes, it was I liked it. It was a good introduction to corporate, I
Mhm.
think, because everybody was accessible, everybody was an email away,
Yeah. A
a
phone call away
a
too, which
phone
was
call
great.
away,
Yeah.
a chat away. It was nice, and we learned the system. I'm gonna pause right there, and I'm gonna let Viri tell you about how she was treated her first jobs
Okay.
and how her experience was.
Okay, well, my first job was I started working at a restaurant, also in food services. So I started working as a hostess at a Mexican restaurant. Absolutely love that job just because I mean it was pretty laid back. Obviously, it was we were busy Friday nights and on the weekends and stuff, but it was good. I mean, I started working in high school, so it was like my part time after school. So I it was great. I loved el ambiente que había ahí pues con mis compañeros. Estaba bien, pero se me olvidó lo que iba a decir. Ya era tanto tiempo. But I really enjoyed the ambiance because it was fun. It was a good time. We all got along pretty good. Everybody was really helpful, which was great. And then it got me, introduced more into like just, obviously hosting, which was good. And then but then I became like a busser, and then I helped serve as well. But it was good. But then again, you're dealing with customers, which honestly, if you're, in like the food services and everything, like good for you, because anything that has to do with customers is just, it's honestly really tough because people are so mean. And have this in mind, we were, it was a Mexican restaurant, right? So what do you speak in a Mexican restaurant? Spanish. And it was very unfortunate because we had gente güerita, que iba, like we had regular customers too. They were regular customers that would go, and one at one point went up to me. We were, obviously we had, different kinds of customers, like Mexican, white people, chinitos, and a little bit of everything. So there was this one time, busy Friday night, and myself, and on Friday nights we had always had two hostesses. So it was myself and then my coworker, and we were, obviously like cleaning the menus and like taking orders, to go orders, and just helping out wherever we could because it was pretty busy. And we had one of our regular customers actually come up to us because, while we were cleaning, we were like talking, and we were talking about about whatever order we were doing or whatever. We were just having small conversations and small talk. And basically he comes up and he told us like, hey, is there a way that you could stop speaking Spanish and just speak English?
No way he said
First,
that.
yeah. And first of all, this is A and B conversation. See your way out of it. And second of all, you're in a Mexican restaurant. How do you expect for you to come in y poner tus reglas? Like, first of all, you ain't the owner of this house, And it's like,
Yeah.
to us, las dos nos quedamos como bien mensas. Like, did I hear right? Nos
Yeah.
quedamos un poquito ofendidas. Like, let me go clean my ears because neta, como que escuché mal. And so we're like,
What
las
an
dos
odd
no.
thing to say. You're
Exactly.
at a Mexican restaurant. You're gonna hear Mexican music
And
and you're gonna hear
so,
Spanish.
and so we're like,
Oh my gosh.
oh, nos quedamos todas así inmensas, like, oh, okay. But we're like, what the actual, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's like, dude, estás en un restaurante mexicano. Like, what do you expect? So, cositas así, going back to what Stephanie was saying too, like little things that are dumb.
Hmm.
Do you not process things before you speaking them? Clearly you don't. And so, that was like, and we had similar experiences at the restaurant, which to me it was like similar to that, but would be so surprising to us because it's like, dude, we're in a Mexican restaurant.
Hmm.
How? Like, if you don't like it, then just, you don't like, people speaking Spanish, or you don't like certain things, then don't come. Así de
Yeah.
fácil. Um, but then, so that was my first job. Actually, into I worked in retail, for GNC. I was there for like a year and a half or so. I had a great manager. We got along great. But then it was during COVID, and like our hours got cut,
Mm.
and that's when I also applied for I started applying everywhere, and how she says like literally the only job that called me back. And so once they called me back, obviously, like, hey, we would love to set up an interview, in person and everything. So I was like, okay, perfect. So what do? You search up where you're going, what
Yeah.
it is, so you could be prepared for the interview. So I did, and same thing, because on the outside, it was like, I'm like, am I gonna be selling like hard
Yeah.
hats, vests? What is it? Um, I didn't know what staffing was whatsoever or anything. So going in there, I saw that it was just, like an office setting. But then they started explaining, oh, well, we're a staffing agency. You have your customers. You basically, have, it's a day labor agency. So basically, we're sending out daily, workers out daily. And from there, I mean, I never even knew like that existed either,
Yeah.
like, which is great. I feel like it's a good thing to have. I feel like it's very, it's a good.
It's a good like way to for people to like get back on their feet,
Mhm,
and or who are just like going through something and need extra money. I
mhm.
feel like staffing agencies are the way to go.
Yeah,
Like
or even to, if you need help getting set on a full time job too,
full-time
because
job, yeah.
that's what we did too. I mean, it wasn't only day labor; it was also like weekly or even attempt to hire. So it
Yeah.
was it was good. Um, but yeah, going in there, it was a good dipping your toes into like corporate world, just because we did have a really, really good team. We
Yeah.
had a good team overall in our branch, and then as well as the company was great too, because if we needed anything, they were a call away. So
Yeah.
they were very hands on, but not like micromanaging hands on, which I don't have anything bad to say about them. I feel like definitely gave me a backbone. I feel like starting in there, eras como más mensita, más como like, ay, sí, lo que tú quieras,
Like a yes man.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
But working there, because of the people that we had to interact with daily, with which were our workers, it was hard
Yeah.
because and especially our customers too. Your
Mm-hmm.
customers demanded, I need 4 workers, what are you doing, this and that, or like, I ordered 6 and I only got 2, or little things like that. So I feel like that definitely gave me a backbone as to saying like, you know what? Yes, you ordered 6, but you ordered them last night, but an hour before we closed. And you're lucky that you got 2 this morning because other customers didn't get anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like we
Yeah.
finally
We were able to like speak up. Like it
mhm,
kind of goes back to like all those times where people would say out of pocket
yeah.
things and you wouldn't say anything because you were shy or
Mhm,
didn't know how to react because we didn't have the
yeah.
experience.
And there I feel like we got
Mhm.
experience
On how
because
to.
and we felt comfortable to be able to express ourselves in a way where we weren't rude either because
No,
come
no,
on,
we kept it
customer
professional.
service, yeah.
Yeah, we kept it
Um
professional, but it professionally defended ourselves.
yeah.
Like you're not gonna like grab me and try to
Mhm.
like sweep me back and forth.
Yeah.
It was definitely very
It
good
was good,
because
yeah.
yeah,
Especially with like our, our workers that we had, it was um the majority were day
day laborers.
laborers.
Yeah.
So, meaning that, they would go to work one day and then the rest of the week they wouldn't go. Or they would go a few hours and then the rest they wouldn't go.
There's a lot of people that are rough around the edges.
hmm And we could go more into detail. We have a lot of stories about that, but we could go into detail about that
Yeah.
later. Um, but yeah, basically, I mean, that definitely helped me getting experience. We were there for almost 3 years.
Hmm.
And because I started, what, like 2 months after you did?
Yeah, you started like a
Yeah,
couple months after
like two
me.
months after she started. And so I feel like it got us ready into then moving forward into our corporate. We knew how to talk to customers. It was my first office job too.
Hmm, me
So
too.
how to use Outlook, how to use your emails, how to set up meetings, doing interviews, because as recruiters there we would have to be, doing interviews, setting up our potential talent. That's what we would call them.
Yeah, we would call them
Our
talents.
potential workers, setting them up for success with a company, with a
Like an
customer of ours.
employer.
So yeah,
Yeah.
with an employer. So I feel like definitely it helped us be more familiar, getting that professional customer service experience that then eventually now grew us into our current careers. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And just to piggyback, piggyback on. That's a corporate lingo for you guys.
Just
And it prepares us for success, I feel
mhm.
like she said, the backbone, because
Yeah.
we were dealing with people that were very rough around the edges. Even our clientele, like customers that we would call them, they were construction guys, they're laborers, like they are the blue collar workers.
Mhm.
And if you guys have ever dealt with blue collar workers, which I'm sure a lot of us have, they're rough around the edges,
Yeah.
they will tell it like it is. So being in that environment, we had to learn to adapt to that
Mhm.
environment, adapt and overcome.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't,
They would chew
you,
you out. Yeah.
yeah, eat you up and chew you back,
Mhm.
like chew you up and spit you back out.
Yeah.
What the white folks say. You would not survive. Before we came along, I know they had tried to hire other people, and they wouldn't last like a
Mm-mm.
week or two because it really is like a tough
Yeah. Industry to work at.
industry.
Yeah.
It's emotionally and mentally draining.
Hmm.
But like she said, we had a great crew. I feel like even our acting manager during that time, because she wasn't a manager
Hmm.
yet, she was
She
an
would just
act.
act like a manager.
Yeah, but she was an actor. Even her, like we learned a
A
lot
lot
from
from
her.
her. Yeah.
I to this day I still appreciate a lot of the
Hmm.
things that she taught us.
Good things and bad, because I feel like one thing that she would not give us. So I feel like when we would do stuff ourselves, she would take credit for it and she would say, "We did it
As a team.
as a team." Oh, yeah, we did it as a team. But as soon as there was an issue, well, the girls this, the girls that. And it's like, okay, and we started picking up on it. And it's like, okay, why are we getting chewed out for it when it was something in reality that she would mess it up.
Hmm.
And
Or that
so,
we all messed up
or that we all messed
together.
up as a team. And it's like, okay, we actually did it. So where's that we type
Hmm.
of teamwork
We all messed
attitude
up.
that
We all did
you
it.
take pride in when we do something good? So definitely, like, to me, ella me enseñó to take credit of your work. Because yeah, whenever she would say, oh, we would be like, yeah, we did it as a team, yeah. And
Hmm.
it's like, no, I did it. I did this, I did that, I did that. So take credit for what you're doing. Don't ever say, oh yeah, oh no, it's okay, yeah, we all did it as a team. You are setting yourself up for failure, because you're allowing other people to put their name on your hard work.
Yeah.
And if you do it as a team, perfect. Divídense the
Yeah.
praise. Pero si no,
If you
you are
do,
getting screwed over.
yeah, because if you go above and beyond, make sure
Mhm.
that you take credit for your work.
Yes.
Because that's what I learned from her. If she did something that was above and beyond, she would make sure she
Oh
did it,
yeah, and she would
announce
praise.
it. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And like I learned to be my biggest hype man.
yeah,
If you don't hype yourself
yes.
up, nobody's gonna
Nobody
hype you
else
up.
will.
Because she would hype herself up and everybody would start hyping her up.
Yeah.
And it was like, what a weird like situation, but I dig it because I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, because it's like I feel like sometimes it comes where you do something and you're waiting for somebody to say, "Oh, good job," or
Mhm.
"Oh, yeah, you did it," and
Nobody's
it's like
gonna know.
no, and it's like, "Hey, I did this, this, and that. Say congratulations to me," you know?
Hmm.
And yeah, and I mean the way that she would just pull everything out of her,
Le
you
echaba
know,
crema a los tacos, to say the least. Le
a
echaba una
lot, and it's like,
cremazo. But like
yeah,
it worked for her.
hmm,
Like it literally
yeah,
worked. Like people would be like, "Great job!" Like she literally manifested. She called herself acting manager, and then she
she's the
became a
manager.
manager.
Yeah,
That's manifestation,
yeah,
and she was strong on manifestation.
yeah, she really
She
was. Yeah.
said, if you
If you speak it into existence.
speak it into
She would always
existence,
say, yeah, like, speak it into existence, Miss Ladies,
yeah.
Miss Ladies. So you'll probably hear us say Miss Ladies. We got it from
We got
her.
it for her because she would say Miss Ladies a lot,
Yeah.
so we would start calling each other Miss Ladies.
We're like, what a weird thing to say, but we dig
But
it.
we dig it.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so I mean, and that's something that we're saying, since the very beginning. I know I think I mentioned it or you mentioned it.
Hmm.
Like always, there's you could never learn enough.
Yeah.
You always learn something, and just take something positive or negative from
Do
it
it.
and turn it positive, because what we could relate to is that ella nos enseñó to take praise and freaking claim what you do,
Yeah.
because if you don't do it, somebody else is going to snatch it right in front of you
And it
and take
happened to
credit for
us.
it. It
Hmm.
happened to us varias veces
Yeah.
ahí con ella. And it's not fair, because it's like it's your hard work. So if it's your hard work, you take the
Yeah.
credit for it. And I know I use it to my current job now. I mean, if I do something or certain projects, I make sure my names are on it, because I don't got names, my name is on it, because yo
Exactly.
lo hice y mi nombre tiene que estar ahí porque yo fui la que metí el trabajo,
Mm.
¿verdad? Así que that's a little bit about corporate, going
Yeah.
more into corporate world. You just have to learn to have a good backbone. Don't let, que te anden empujando and stuff. Stand your ground and learn and know how to respect yourself.
Hmm.
I feel like that's huge too, especially like it doesn't matter if you're female or male or whatever, like you have to learn how to respect yourself. And because if you don't respect yourself, you put the principle of how other people treat you. And
Exactly.
if the first moment that somebody disrespects you, you have to put a stop to it. Like, like if they
Like,
if they were to say some dumb stuff, like a little racist joke or something, I think now the way that I react to it would be like, just look at them.
are you
Are
happy with
you?
what you said?
Yeah.
Are you okay in the head?
Did you just hear what you said? Is that what you meant?
Mhm.
Like, are you
Educate
okay?
yourself. Yeah, go educate
You know
yourself.
what? Are you having a bad day? Is that why we're being mean today?
I'm not your father.
Exactly.
No, you're not mad at me.
So cositas así that now it's like that's how you could defend yourself, and who's gonna be looking dumb? Not you.
Mm-mm.
So
Maybe
no,
don't say that to your bosses,
no.
but definitely chat GPT it on how to do it professionally.
But
But
yeah, it's
yeah,
just little things that I feel like it's good that you learn. And going into work, you just have to learn how to defenderte,
defenderte.
darte el respeto,
Yeah.
give yourself your space, and there's nothing taking pride with what you do.
That's it. Like, take pride in your work. Like, I know my Hispanic parents, like,
Ujú.
parents have said, siempre haz las cosas,
Si las vas a hacer, hazlas bien.
hazlas bien. Ajá. Y
Ujú,
si haz las cosas con ganas,
ujú.
no seas guachalota, no seas
Ajá,
huevona y hazlas
ajá.
bien. Porque si no, ¿qué haces ahí?
Yeah.
And it's true because you should take pride in everything you do. If you're flipping burgers, flip
Do
those
it.
burgers nicely,
Cook
con
them good.
ganas. If you're doing customer service, be a good
Mhm.
customer service person because there is always somebody waiting to have your job. So
Yeah.
be appreciative of the opportunity you have, especially in these times.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but during these times, appreciate what you have
Yeah.
and learn. It doesn't matter if you're flipping burgers, customer service, or cleaning bathrooms,
Not, yeah.
learn something.
Yeah.
You'll, yeah.
Because I never realized, yeah, to say like
Hmm.
cleaning bathrooms and stuff. I never realized. I always thought it was a common thing to learn, growing
Hmm.
up. Like mi mamá me enseñó cómo limpiar and cositas
Hmm.
así. So then I always thought like it was a common thing to people to know how to do.
Hmm.
And then I started, like obviously like growing up and stuff, and then seeing other girls that didn't know how to even flip una tortilla
Mhm.
or even hacerse un huevito or lavar el baño o cositas así o lavar los trastes que no le ayudaban así. So to me, I was like, really? Why?
Mhm.
And so, and I feel like growing up, you're like, ay, yo no necesito, ¿para qué? Sí sé. But it's like,
Sí se
no,
ocupa.
everything that you learn, it will, it's good. I
It
mean, you're
comes back
going
to
to
you.
use it. You're going to use everything that you learn. So, and if you don't use it ever again, well, at
It's
least you could say
okay.
that you know how to do it,
Mhm.
you know?
'Cause it goes back to our corporate, like our first corporate job. Like we didn't have a office cleaner,
Hmm.
so we would have to clean the bathroom ourselves. And I am so glad Viri also knew how to clean because
Our manager
I,
didn't.
or she. It's not that she was dirty or anything, but
Nomás como que agarraba el trapo y así. Bueno,
ajá, sí,
ya le
con el
limpié.
mismo trapo limpiaba todo.
And I'm like,
And it's like, ¿no
ew.
vas a jugar eso? You
Yeah.
know, or like I don't know about you, but during that job, I got introduced to the Swiffer thingies,
Oh, yeah.
the fast ones.
Yeah.
Because in my house, if you didn't mop con el trapo
Ajá,
en la
y que
escoba,
le exprimías así bien el trapo,
ajá, no estaba
no
limpio.
estaba
And I
limpio.
was like, ¿qué es eso?
We're like, how do we put this on there?
Yeah.
So yeah, and even the vacuum that we had there, what was the huevón vacuum, which you didn't have to change the big bag y
Mm-hmm.
todo. So I'm like,
I don't know, but I did it.
you
But
learn.
like, I was glad that Mary learned how to clean because at least we could share the duties of cleaning the
Yeah.
bathroom, which was disgusting.
Yeah.
Y a veces teníamos que lavar like a los chalecos, like the
Mhm.
work vest.
The work best, yeah.
We were both ahí como like señoras like laundromat,
Ahí,
just
como en
a
el,
mano
no, ¿cómo se dice? En el,
en el río.
no, pero en el, the thing that you used to wash.
Oh, el lavabo.
Así te lo llamas.
Yeah, what is that thing called? You guys know what I'm talking about. Un lavabo. I know you guys call it other things. El sink.
No,
What did you call it?
okay,
Okay.
anyways. But yeah, cositas así de que sí nos estábamos ahí en el sink, lave y lave los vests
Yeah.
y el agua mugrosísima. And we're like, oh my goodness, this is what we're letting our workers wear.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, cositas así that, you
You just
learn and you
learn.
use. And so honestly, I feel like nothing hurts with learning.
Mm-hmm.
And if, especially like take advantage of opportunities que te ofrezca tu trabajo, like si te dicen, hey, do you want to join this class or, get
Mm-hmm.
certified for this or do that. If the company's
Do it.
paying for it, do
Do
it. We
it.
got certified there in that staffing agency for our CSP, which
Mm-hmm.
was, staffing. So we became, certified,
Certified staffing
yeah,
agent. Yeah.
for staffing. And so that we actually took it for another job, and it brings bigger opportunities. That's something else, another qualification that you could add to your resume, te va a beneficiar,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
More certifications equals more money or
Mhm.
more opportunities.
More
That
opportunities.
doesn't necessarily mean more money, but it does mean more opportunities that can bring you more
Mhm.
money.
Exactly.
And take advantage. If the company's offering to pay for your education, take
Do it.
advantage about it
Yeah.
because nobody else is going to offer you that.
Mhm.
And if you don't take advantage of opportunities, they're just going to go
Mhm.
because nobody's going to come hand you anything. And I feel like I learned that throughout corporate.
Yeah.
Nobody hands you anything and no one's going to offer you anything unless you ask for it.
Mhm. And
And
don't be afraid to ask for
mhm,
things. I feel like sometimes it's like that mentality de que, ay, pues no, we have to be grateful with this. And yes,
mhm,
yes, pero también si le estás echando ganas and you feel like you deserve something, ask for it. The worst thing that could happen is they're just going to say no.
yeah,
And that's it. But you won't know if you don't ask. What if
mhm,
they say yes? So don't be so hard on yourself and just do it. Just
just
ask the question. If you know you're echándole, you're putting in the work and you deserve this or, ask.
yeah,
Ask the question.
yeah. And
The
then
answer may be yes.
yeah, and then just because you're like she said, como dices, tú hay que ser hay que ser agradecido.
Mhm.
Por pena no decimos. Ser agradecido no significa ser conformista.
Sí,
There's big
exactamente.
difference.
Yeah.
You could be appreciative, yes, but work for more. But you
Yeah.
like it's so harsh to say pide más, but it's right
Mhm.
because in this world, con los conformistas,
Mhm.
you just go down from there
Yeah.
instead of going up. So never get too comfortable,
Yeah, never get too
especially in
comfortable.
in corporate. I'm sure you can find a friend. I'm not saying everybody's bad, but just be careful.
Yeah.
Not everybody's your friend.
Especially in corporate because I feel like at the end of the day, everybody's only watching their self.
Mhm,
You're watching your own back, which is fair.
mhm.
But at the same time, obviously don't throw anybody under the bus. That's
No,
a
no,
really shady thing to
that's
do.
don't be that person.
No.
Don't be that person.
But you have to just have in mind that you have to look out for yourself and you not your every coworker that you have will not be your best friend.
Yeah,
Will not be your friends at all whatsoever.
we
So
got lucky.
we honestly got lucky. Yeah, I feel like
Yeah, but if you're not, I feel like not everybody's your friend. And not everybody's bad. I'm not saying that
Hmm.
everybody's bad in corporate, no, but I feel like people do want to see you succeed if you want to succeed.
Yeah.
If you don't want to succeed, they're not going to pay you any mind, and you
Hmm.
have to put in the work.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what I would tell our talent from their
Hmm.
work. You have to put in the work. If you want something, you got to ask for it because
Hmm.
nobody else is going to come
Yeah.
rescue you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to close off, that was a little bit about our work experience. How basically we started off in your very first job, how the expectations come into play, and then going further into our corporate careers and now to our current careers. So that's a little bit about our work episode that we wanted to share with you guys. So hopefully you guys could relate and share some stories that you guys have, or maybe you guys experienced some with this, similar experiences or anything like that. But for the next episode,
For the next episode, we're going to talk a little bit about our childhood and how it was when we started school here. I think we're going to dive into our school experience growing up in the areas we did. I moved a lot from California to here. Um, so we're going to talk about that difference and how
transitioning, and
transitioning,
especially starting school
starting
with
school.
first language being, Spanish, and learning English, and then still to this day being ESL. So I feel
Yeah.
like we could definitely relate to that, and I feel like it's a good topic for next time.
Yeah.
We feel like it's a
And
good
we
thing.
hope you guys are there. I feel like a lot of you guys will relate to this a little bit more.
Okay, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching our video, for listening to us, and we hope to catch you on the next video. But
But I do have a side note, okay? You guys might notice our rooms changing a lot, like the setting, and it will keep changing until we have something solid.
yeah.
Okay,
So
so
for now, enjoy this little cucharitas because we don't have a set big microphone yet.
es la recesión. La recesión nos pegó duro.
We could have used something different, like a chancla or something. Maybe next time usamos una chanclita or something.
I don't
A
know.
hanger.
No hanger. Or we might keep using this. Se las robamos a nuestras mamás.
Sí, sí, acá de, mi
Cada quien de
mamá.
su casa trajo una cuchara.
Sí. No, but I feel like I like this. Honestly, the real reason why we're using a spoon is in case if we see some out of pocket stuff, we take out the microphone y les damos un guamazo a cada una.
Para que nos comportemos bien.
Sí, no sé si ustedes le dieron cucharazos, pero a mí no.
Ay, ¿no te dieron
Mi
cucharazos?
mamá no.
A mí no, una
Mi
vez.
hermana sí.
Ah, pobrecita. A mí sí me dieron cuchara.
Sí, yeah.
Me acababan de vacunar. Ese es un
No.
trauma para otra historia. Tengo muchos.
But once again, thank you so much, and we will see you guys on the next video.
Adiós.
Bye.